morning, student. Today we are start with our first unit, that is immune response. In that immune response, we have to first discuss appropriate immune response, that is the phagocytosis, antigen processing and antigen presentation. Second one is the immune response to the infectious disease, including the diagnostic immunology. Second immune response, that is the inappropriate immune response. In that first is the autoimmunity that we are today going to discuss. Inappropriate, that is not specific immune response, that is not a natural one. Against foreign particle, our immune system produces the immune response, but against the self antigen, our immune mechanism never shows the immune response. Then how and why autoimmunity, that is a resistance power which is developed against the self antigen form, that we have to discuss in today's lecture. Second one is the immune deficiency disorder that we discuss after the autoimmunity. Then third one is an hypersensitivity. So let us start with the immune response. So here immune response, as I told you, appropriate immune response and inappropriate immune response. Appropriate immune response means the resistance power or the reaction of host against the foreign particle. Against the foreign particle, that is, whenever any foreign particle comes, that is not of your own body, that we also refer as an antigen. So against that antigen, our immunocompetent cell, that is the T cells and B cells, shows the immune response. T cells shows the cellular immune response against the intracellular pathogen. B cells shows the humoral immune response against the extracellular pathogens. But in against self antigen, our immunocompetent cell never shows the immune response. Then question comes why? Due to the immunological tolerance. Due to the immunological tolerance. Immunological tolerance, that is the unresponsiveness of the immunocompetent cell towards the self antigen. Once the immunocompetent cell shows the immune response, they are programmed for apoptosis during their maturation, and that's why our immunocompetent cell shows the tolerance against the self antigen. That is in brief appropriate immune response. Now from today we have to discuss inappropriate immune response. Inappropriate, that is not the natural one, that is not the normal one. Inappropriate, that is the abnormal, defective reaction of the host or the abnormal reaction of host against the self antigen. Against the self antigen, in normal condition, our immunocompetent cell never shows immune response. But whenever immunological tolerance break, that time our immunocompetent cell shows the immune response against the self antigen. That self antigen we refer as the autologous antigen. Autologous antigen, that is nothing but a self antigen. Since embryonic period, they are hidden or sequestered, and that's why our immunocompetent cell not recognize them as our own protein, and whenever they comes in contact with them, they shows the immune response and start to produce the disorder, or we refer as an illness, that we refer as an autoimmune diseases or autoimmune disorder. So when autoimmunity form, when the tolerance break, so generally there are the two type of tolerance. Central tolerance, which is developed in central lymphoid organ, as I told you during the maturation, that tolerance, that is the unresponsiveness developed, and peripheral tolerance, which is developed in peripheral lymphoid organs. And due to that tolerance only, our immunocompetent cell recognize our own protein as our own, and they never shows the immune response. But once the tolerance break, they start to produce the immune response. So in short, we discuss about the history. Autoimmunity, that is a literal meaning the horror autotoxic, which is first time studied by the Paul Ehrlich. As I told you, autoimmunity, that is an abnormal, that is an inappropriate immune response of the immune system against the self antigen. Against which self antigen? That is the autologous antigen, which are hidden, sequestered since embryonic period. And once their capsule, once their hidden nature is broken, they show our immunocompetence cell shows the immune response against them. So which are such example? That is the islands protein, thyroid proteins, and some autologous antigen which are developed later in the life, such as sperm, which are developed later in the life, and that's why also they're not recognized by our immunocompetent cell as our own protein and start to produce the immune response once they exposed to immunocompetent cells. So there are the number of autoimmune disorders such as rheumatoid arthritis, multiple sclerosis, systemic lupus erythematosus. So in next lecture we discuss how these autoimmune diseases occur, that is under the mechanism of autoimmune disease. So I hope today you understood meaning of autoimmunity, that is a resistance power, that is the inappropriate immune response of the immune system against the self antigen, and when this immune response develop, when the tolerance break. So in next lecture we discuss about the mechanism of autoimmune disease. So if you have any doubt, please ask me in next lectures.